Today, we are placing one of the best-selling, but at the same time most debated products on the Amazon United States market under the microscope. Is this suitcase-designed record player that sells for only $59 really worth your money, or is it a complete disappointment? Let us solve all the secrets of this device together from the perspective of a product research specialist.
When you first open the box, you find a very stylish and nostalgic-looking black suitcase design right in front of you. Thanks to its lightweight and portable structure, it certainly has a futuristic vibe that will suit every corner of your home. However, when you take the device into your hands and examine it a little, that luxurious feeling completely gives way to a plastic material quality. Even though it looks like a wonderful decorative object from the outside, one should not keep expectations too high in terms of engineering. Although it manages to steal our hearts at first glance, the real important details are hidden in the mechanical part. The fake leather material used on the outer coating of the device manages to pass the test in terms of tactile feeling. The metal-looking lock mechanism makes portability easy by offering a secure feeling while carrying the suitcase. It is a big advantage that a great visual variety appealing to every taste is offered thanks to the richness of color options. However, the hinge quality you encounter when you open the lid shows signs of wear in long-term use. The more importance the designers gave to the exterior aesthetics, the more they left the plastic craftsmanship of the interior in the background. The rubber feet located on the bottom base of the product ensure that it sits firmly on the table and prevents vibrations. This compact structure in the form of a suitcase can decorate your room as a great vintage accessory even when it is not in use. Thanks to the lightweight structure of the device, you can easily take it anywhere you wish to friend gatherings or travels. However, this extreme feeling of lightness is unfortunately proof of how thin and non-durable the materials used inside are. If you are a design-oriented buyer, this visual style might satisfy you, but the technical details will make you think a little. The control buttons and the speed adjustment knob on the device are placed in a very minimalistic way. The pressing sensation of the buttons is at an average quality and remains at an acceptable level for the price. The speaker grills on the front stand out as one of the most important aesthetic elements completing the retro vibe. However, since the dust protection filters behind these grills are very thin, cleaning them can be a bit troublesome. These details, which look flawless visually, immediately give away the budget-friendly production processes when examined closely. As a first impression, this $59 suitcase record player stands as if it is a much more expensive product than its actual price. The main reason why people show such intense interest in this model on Amazon is exactly this stylish packaging. The real test of this structure that will look great in a shop window or social media photos will begin the moment the record starts spinning. It is very exciting to see whether this great effort given to the external aesthetics of the product is also reflected in the technical hardware. Now let us go under this stylish shell and take a close look at the hardware features awaiting us.
When we lift the lid of the device, a standard motor mechanism offering 3 different speed options welcomes us. Thanks to this motor, you can easily play all your records of 33, 45, and 78 revolutions. The small adapter coming out of the box makes it very practical to place 45 revolutions records onto the center hub. However, the slight humming sound that the motor emits during rotation can reach an ear-piercing level in quiet environments. For an entry-level mechanism, this kind of motor noise unfortunately stands as an unavoidable technical detail. The connection points located on the back panel of the device are among the most important hardwares, increasing its functionality. Thanks to the standard outputs here, you can easily connect the device to a much more powerful external sound system if you wish. At the same time, thanks to the headphone jack located on the side, you can listen to music late at night without disturbing anyone. However, since the plastic quality of these sockets is quite weak, one needs to be careful while plugging and unplugging cables. The richer the connection variety has been kept, the more the material durability has been left budget-oriented. The wireless connection support, which is one of its most remarkable features, turns the device into an external speaker at the same time. You can enjoy listening to your digital music lists from this nostalgic body by connecting your smartphone to the record player within seconds. The reception range and stabilization of the Bluetooth connection show a very successful performance in home uses. However, while this feature is active, the own needle mechanism of the record player becomes completely deactivated and turns into a mere receiver. Combining both the analog and digital worlds in a single box is a great plus for a device at this budget. The tone arm and needle mechanism, which are the most critical parts of the record player, are produced entirely from cheap plastic material. The red ceramic needle that comes ready on it is known as one of the lowest segment components in the market. Even removing the protection cap of this needle gives a feeling that it will break, which creates great mistrust among users. The lifting lever of the tone arm is in a quite stiff structure, making it almost impossible to make a gentle landing. As a research specialist, it is not difficult at all to guess what kind of a result this technical infrastructure will yield in the long run. The auto-stop feature of the device, meaning the system that prevents the record from spinning when the track is over, works quite stably. Thanks to this mechanism, the needle is prevented from spinning and wearing out for hours in the empty groove at the end of the record. However, the sensitivity of this system can lead to errors such as stopping the record early before the song finishes in some long recordings. The power board and supply unit inside the device prevent the overheating problem by being fed from the outside with a small adapter. Although a full price-performance balance is attempted in terms of hardware, some critical deficiencies make themselves felt immediately. We come to the topic that everyone wonders about the most, which is the audio performance of this $59 device. The built-in stereo speakers located on it do a decent job of catching that old nostalgic radio vibe. The vocal sounds and middle frequencies of the songs spread outward from these small drivers in a very clear and understandable way. However, when you go up to high volume levels, you notice that the bass tones are almost non-existent and the sound comes out tinny. If you want to get a deep enjoyment from music and hear a sound that fills your room, this performance will definitely not satisfy you. The audio output power of these small speakers integrated into the body of the device can be considered sufficient for a small room. It becomes quite easy to catch that intimate, crackling atmosphere you look for in acoustic songs or old shellac record recordings. However, the speakers remain completely helpless in rock or electronic music records with a high dynamic range. When the sound reaches the peak level, distortions and clipping occur, sabotaging the musical enjoyment. Still, you have a chance to salvage this audio output situation to some extent by connecting an external soundbar or a quality speaker. The amplifier stage inside the record player itself is of an architecture that is very far from producing a high-quality audio signal. Even if you connect to a large sound system from the external outputs, you cannot observe a great increase in the detail quality of the sound. The analog signal coming from the needle loses most of its details and instrument separation while being processed in this cheap processor stage. The drum hits or thin guitar chords in the music blend into each other and reach your ear as a flat cloud of sound. From an expert eye, I can say that this sound quality will be sufficient only for beginner ears. The music broadcasts made over the Bluetooth speaker mode of the device have a slightly more balanced sound quality compared to the record performance. The bass and treble balance in digital recordings offers a cleaner listening experience without pushing the limits of the speakers. However, you need to remember that you completely lose that warm analog record sensation while listening in this mode. The songs you open from your smartphone echo as if they're coming from a nostalgic box, though at the quality of an ordinary portable speaker. While offering multi-purpose use is nice, it is beneficial to keep expectations at a minimum in terms of audio engineering. The biggest reason why the audio performance remains at this level is that the device has a completely closed and narrow box structure. Since the acoustic space behind the speakers is insufficient, the sound waves get trapped inside the body and destroy the bass frequencies. It would be unfair to expect those soft as velvet deep tones we look for while listening to records from these tiny drivers. If your priority is pure sound quality and musical accuracy, the performance limits that this device offers are clear. Now, we're moving on to a much more critical topic beyond the audio performance, which concerns the health of our records. Now we come to the most striking and the most important technical warning of this video that you need to pay attention to. These kinds of cheap suitcase record players do not have any weight adjustment or precise balance mechanism on their tone arms. That rotating weight system we see at the back of professional record players is designed entirely as a decoration or a fixed plastic piece in this model. This situation causes the needle to apply much more pressure than normal onto the record and carve the sensitive grooves over time. Because of the heavy tone arm, the needle tip goes too deep into the record tracks and slowly destroys the micro details there. The tip structures of cheap ceramic needles have a much thicker and rougher cut compared to diamond needles. This rough structure creates a virtual sandpaper effect while turning between the grooves of the record, scraping off microplastic particles. If you have very valuable and rare record collections in your hands, this device can damage them permanently after only a few plays. After a few listenings, you can notice that the crackling noises coming from your records increase and the songs start to skip. Therefore, even though being budget-friendly sounds nice, it poses a serious threat to your valuable music archive in the long run. The fact that the platter under the record, meaning the round platform carrying the record, is designed excessively small is also a major engineering mistake. When you place a standard 12-inch large album record, almost half of the record remains outside in the empty air. This situation causes the record to flex sideways during rotation and the needle to press into the groove at an unbalanced angle. The record turning by wobbling both consumes the lifespan of the needle rapidly and drops the reading quality by half. This vibration problem, which is critical for record health, is accepted as one of the biggest structural issues of suitcase record players. The vibrations created by the speakers integrated into the body of the device are also transmitted directly to the tone arm and the needle. While music is playing, the sound waves coming out of the speaker shake the plastic body, causing the needle to vibrate inside the groove. These micro-vibrations pave the way for the sound to distort even more and the needle to scratch the record more aggressively. In professional systems, the speaker and the record player are always positioned in completely independent and distant areas because of this. In these kinds of all-in-one compact devices, these two enemy elements unfortunately have to live in the same small box. In light of all these technical data, if you're thinking of listening to the expensive albums you just added to your archive on this device, you should think twice. This product has a structure to be used more for spinning old, already worn out, or cheap records that you can sacrifice. If you want to extend the lifespan of your valuable music collection and carry them into the future, this mechanism is not the right address. As a smart research specialist, it is one of my greatest duties to warn my viewers against this hidden danger. Now, let us evaluate the overall price and performance balance of the product in the market alongside these risks.
Despite all these downsides, one needs to evaluate the $59 price tag according to the market conditions and be a bit flexible. It is really very difficult to find another alternative on the American market at this price that both has a speaker and offers a wireless connection. When you try to build a professional analog system from scratch, the budget you will spend will be at least 10 times this amount. Looked at from this perspective, it becomes easier to understand why the product breaks sales records every year and why it is so popular.
This intelligently designed package, which is completely budget-oriented, fulfills the responsibilities brought by its price within its limits. If your purpose is not to build a professional music system, it can be seen as an acceptable risk to be preferred just for weekend entertainment. Making large investments might not be very logical for a user who will spin a record only once a month. The portability and ease of use that the device offers are enough to make the money spent logical to some extent. However, if you want to get the full return of every penny you give as performance, you might need to increase the budget a little more. Although the low price does not completely excuse the technical faults of the product, what purpose it is purchased for becomes the biggest criterion here. The user manual and spare parts coming out of the box content of the product also show that this low-budget package is complete. The manufacturer company has managed to offer the simplest interface that anyone can use at this price with a plug-and-play logic without tiring the consumer. This situation is a great comfort for those who do not want to deal with complex cable connections or delicate tone arm balance scales. When we look at its competitors in the sector, we understand much better how cheap this product remains and why it sells so much. As long as your performance expectation is directly proportional to the money you pay, this balance will not upset you. This $59 investment can actually be seen as a small entry ticket paid to warm up to the record culture. People catch a chance to experience that fascinating atmosphere of the analog world in their homes for the first time by buying this device. If they enjoy this culture, they already make a decision to switch to more professional systems in the future. Therefore, this product acts as a hidden locomotive that brings new customers to the sector and increases record sales. Standing right at the limit of the price-performance curve, this suitcase record player can give the return on your money even just as a piece of decoration. In conclusion, it would already be unfair to expect flawless engineering and high-fidelity sound from a product at this price level. The manufacturer company has managed to maintain this competitive price by compromising on the right places for the sake of cutting costs. In front of us stands a consumer electronics product that is a complete budget friend, providing ease of use and carrying a heavy aesthetic side. The important thing is to buy this device knowing its limits and to enjoy the analog world without getting into a great expectation. Following this detailed analysis, we are now coming to the end of our review and making that powerful closing that suits our channel.
In our channel's comeback video, we reviewed this popular device with complete transparency, and hopefully I've been able to help you make your decision. If you want more honest and in-depth tech reviews like this, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like the video. You can find the current purchase links and pricing information for this device in the description section below the video. Also, feel free to share any technical questions and comments you have with me below. Your comments are a great source of motivation for the growth of our channel and the creation of new videos. Keep following the Product Research Expert channel for the most accurate product analyses. Until we meet again in our next review, take care.